Hello and welcome back to the PES 2020 Master League with AS Roma. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, crunch time, other cliches. The end of the season is what I'm trying to get to. With two massive games to play in this episode, our second leg of the quarter-final against Manchester City in the Champions League, and we have a game against Bologna in the Serie A, with which, to be honest, our chances of winning may have fallen by the wayside, as we will show you in this recap. So we begin our recap with our two games against Sassuolo in the Coppa Italia semi-finals. Win these and we're through to our first cup final of the series. Wasn't the first piece of silverware we were looking to win, but it may be the first one that we actually do, provided we get through these games. Against a team that we do perennially do quite well against, so perennially, oh yes, pulling out the big words. But we didn't really pull out a big performance in this game, as Simon Scuffet is forced into a save to deny Sassuolo, and then they get a corner taken by Berardi, and it's met by Locatelli, who I believe scored against us in the league last time we played Sassuolo. And I did take the piss out of him for being the supposed next big thing in Italian football. And he's scored twice against us in two games, so who's laughing now? I believe it would be him if he heard about this and laughed. You know, I don't know. Maybe he would, maybe he wouldn't. Who knows? I don't know what the man's like in regards to his personality, but I know what he can do on a football pitch, and that's score against us. And something that we could not do as we scrambled right at the end of the game. A horrific goal line scramble that we should have made better use of, and the game ends 1-0 Sassuolo. I don't know if away goals count in the Coppa Italia. I didn't do my research, but either way, we're a goal down after the first leg, as we are beaten at home by Sassuolo going into the second game, knowing that we need a much better performance than that of the first game, as Amin Harit comes forward, plays it through to Edin Dzeko, takes a touch, and bang! 6 minutes in, and Mr. Reliable, our big Bosnian Edin Dzeko, gives us the lead on the night and brings us level on aggregate. As Kluivert, I just put that Dzeko heads over the bar, but I just wanted to put that clip in because what a ridiculous cross from Justin Kluivert, matched by an equally ridiculous run by Amin Harit, who just plays it across, and there is Kluivert to tap it into the back of an empty net to give us a 2-0 lead on the night, and we take the lead on aggregate. The young guns combining as Harit plays through Edin Dzeko, who looks to lift it over Fierro, is taken down, and the referee has deemed that to be a penalty. Now, we rarely get penalties in this game, as anyone who plays PES knows. You rarely get penalties in general, but I don't even know if that was a pen. The keeper gets booked for it, and we get a pen. Wasn't overly complaining, but no, I don't think you can give that, truth be told. But anyway, Jordan Veretout steps up, and as anyone who knows who plays PES, penalties are impossible, because it's just a case of it might feel like going in, might not. So Veretout misses from the spot, but scores an absolute belter from about 25 yards. So he can do it from the long distance, but he can't do it from 12 yards. Either way, Jordan Veretout gets his goal and really wraps up the tie for us as we take a 3-1 aggregate lead, 3-0 lead on the night, and our French midfielder, who has done extremely well when called upon this season, gets us the clincher until Centurion gets on, gets a header saved, and taps in the follow-up to really secure the result. 4-0 on the night, 4-1 on aggregate. Centurion is going to really aggravate the groundsman by sliding his studs all along the grass, as he does his tribute to a potential wrong'un, but you know, allegedly. But moving on quickly, Filip Juricic gets a goal back for Sassuolo with 7 minutes left to play. Sassuolo fans are going uncharacteristically mental for a goal that doesn't really mean a whole heap. But either way, Juricic gets a goal back, makes it 4-2 on aggregate, 4-1 on the night. And that is enough for us to scrape into the Coppa Italia final, our first final of the series, which is bloody good. Any silverware we can get our hands on is most good, as we will be taking on Udinese in the final. Quite an odd final. Wasn't expecting either of those sides to go through, but there you go. As we move from one semi-final, we move to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. There's the draw. As you can see, we were against Manchester City. Now this game, to be fair, just as a quick spoiler, I wish I'd done a live com for this, because this game was absolutely mad. we have the first real chance of the game through a free kick from Florenzi, and oh my word, would you look at that. He's done that a few times this season, scored absolute pearlers from set pieces as Alessandro Florenzi, but maybe that is the absolute best of the bunch. Look at that, right in the postage stamp. Ulreich absolutely no chance. However, Man City go forward with their first meaningful attack of the game. I bring Lopez out to no avail, and Karim Benzema, there you go, of all people, equalises for Manchester City. It was my mistake, I brought Lopez out. I really shouldn't have, but there you go, it's ended up in the back of the net. Karim Benzema levels the score for Manchester City. As we go forward again, Barbosa plays in Cengiz Ünder, who wets it back to Gabi Barbosa, and we retake the lead just before half time. Our second away goal of the tie, as the perennial marksman Gabi Barbosa says thank you very much to Cengiz Ünder and kisses his foot. I don't know, is that sanitary? Who knows? Either way, straight from kickoff, however, City go down the other end and Benzema sticks it in the net again, which is really rather irritating. Given far too much space, you can't give Karim Benzema any sort of space. He just turns and pops it in the back of the net past Pau Lopez. Nothing he could really do about that one, to be fair. We do get a free kick right at the start of the second half. We figure we'll try something different, and it actually worked. I couldn't bloody believe it. I tried something and it worked. Staggering. Should have done the lottery that night. As Amin Harit restores our lead in the game and gives us a third away goal against Manchester City. That is until Kevin De Bruyne comes forward, takes a random pot shot, takes a massive deflection, and with 9 minutes to go, Manchester City level on the night. 3-3. I mean, we do still have the advantage in regards to away goals, but I would have much preferred. There you go, the ball comes in, hits Rugani. It may have been going wide, but it's that deflection off Daniele Rugani, it goes in. 3-3 on the night, and then Ilkay Gundogan very nearly wins it for Manchester City. An absolute roller coaster of emotions with some sizzling gypsies thrown in to end our first leg of our quarter-final against Manchester City. 3-3. Bloody hell, what a ridiculous game. So we have the advantage going into the second leg. There are the other results. Lokomotiv Moscow absolutely battered Real Madrid 4-0. What is the crack with Lokomotiv Moscow this year? As we go into the final game of this recap against Torino, as exciting as the game against Manchester City was, this was the exact opposite. It was incredibly dull, and it was extremely frustrating considering that we needed to keep pace with Juventus at the top of the table. No, we couldn't afford any slip-ups, and we should have been beating a team like Torino. But unfortunately, as Ruud Gullit is very angry, as was I, it ends 0-0. Only a point against a team that we should be beating, which means that Juventus have gained yet more of an advantage over us at the top of the table. We were only a point behind at the start of play, and we're now 3 points behind. That could be the slip-up, the final slip-up that puts the nail in our title hopes this season, as Juventus look on course to win yet another title. So that draw against Torino could well be the nail in the coffin for our Scudetto hopes as we look to wrestle the Serie A title away from Juventus. Not many games left of the domestic season to play, so who knows? They could mess up, but it's unlikely. So we're 3 points behind with 5 games left to play of the season. It's not looking overly likely, but we're still in it. We're still in it, and of course we are in the Coppa Italia Cup final. So we have our first final of the series, and we are still, of course, in the Champions League as it stands after that dramatic first leg against Manchester City. 3-3 it finished. But we do have 3 away goals, so we could end this game. We could just pass the ball along the back line for the whole game, and all would be well. So we have 3 away goals, so we are in the proverbial driver's seat going into this game, but we need to make sure if we're going to progress to our first Champions League semi-final. We go with the usual lineup. Everyone's fit and ready to go against the City side of Galactian goals for reasons. Otamendi, Laporte, Zinchenko, João Cancelo, Rodri, Gundogan, David Silva, Leroy Sané, I forgot his name there, Bernardo Silva and Sergio Aguero. No Raheem Sterling in the starting lineup, which is always good. They will no doubt make an appearance at some point. We could afford to draw this game. A draw and a win and we go through. Even if we lose, we don't go through. A draw or a win, so the odds are in our favour, but you never do know. We do have a tendency of throwing stuff away, so let's hope that we don't do that, and let's just get through. The odds are with us. That means absolutely nothing. To be honest, I did not expect us to get this far in the Champions League. I thought, we'll have a decent run in the group stages, maybe get to the knockout stages and just hope for the best. But we're in the quarterfinals. We are within touching distance of the semis. Considering our Europa League campaign ended at this stage last season in the quarterfinals against Arsenal, we have an arguably tougher test against Manchester City in the Champions League quarterfinals, and we have the advantage. So hopefully we can build on that and stay in the tournament, because like I say, as long as we're in it, we might as well try to win it. And with the slim chance of a treble on, if it's conceivable, then why not go for it, as they say. I don't know what it is, but we'll go for it and see what happens. I'm waffling now because I don't want to play this game because I'm scared. I'm terrified that we'll throw this away, and you'll all see it, and you'll all judge me. There's Chenga's in there. Away from Zinchenko. He's got in a ridiculous ball in, and Zaniolo taps it in, but it's going to be disallowed, is it? Or is it an own goal? What's happening? What's happened? I don't know. Nothing's changed on the scoreboard. João Cancelo looks really upset. We're celebrating. I think we've scored. We have. We've scored. We've scored a goal. I don't know how or why. Well, I don't. It's all very confusing. Great ball in, and João Cancelo seems to have got there ahead of Zaniolo, and in an attempt to intercept it, has put it into his own net. Let's have a look. He has, All right, unlucky, mate, but we'll take it. Happy days. We're a goal up. Okay. Again, we look to break here. It's Barbosa. Look at the space for El Shaarawy, and he's in behind. Stephen El Shaarawy with a chance to seal it early on. It's El Shaarawy straight at Golashi. Comes to Zaniolo. What a tackle by Zinchenko, or is it? Does he get what? It's a penalty. It's a penalty against him, given against Zinchenko. What a horrific start for Manchester City. An own goal, and now they've given away a penalty. There's the shot. I can't really see anything wrong with that, but I'll take it. Not ours either way. We have a penalty given away by Zinchenko. And who is going to take it? Who won it? Zaniolo won it. So, he should take it, even though he's not the best. But we'll give it to Zaniolo. Now, keep in mind, I am god-awful at penalties in this game. They just decide if they want to go in or not. But here's Zaniolo against Golashi, straight down the middle. I was aiming that left. I was aiming at bottom left, and he's hit it straight down the middle. Rodri. Work by Mancini. Barbosa. Look at the space for Under. Where is Man City's defence? It's completely fallen apart. Under. Chance to seal it, and he has. Cengiz in there. Makes it 2-0 on the night, 5-3 on aggregate. We missed the penalty, but it doesn't matter, because our young Turkish winger has surely put us in to the Champions League semi-finals. Manchester City have fallen apart at the back like a flan in a cupboard, and we have attacked said flan like a something that eats flan. I don't know. This analogy has fallen apart, much like Man City's defence. Right at the end of the half, Manchester City have a free kick. It's Leroy Sané. He's decided to drift it in instead of taking the shot, and David Silva has hooked it over the top of the crossbar by quite a significant. He's not even put it near the crossbar. Jesus, Dave, what are you at? I spin it all up. El Shaarawy. He's got options in the middle. Can he find a decent cross? Yes, he can. In towards Cengiz, and there. And the smallest man in the box gets his head on it, doubles his tally, and secures what we already knew. We are going to the Champions League semi-finals. Cheng is in there. He's had a real breakout season this year, picking up on the success of last year. And this just cements it completely on Mark. And he's tiny, but he's still got a head on it. And we take a 3-0 lead on the night, 6-3 on aggregate. Semi-finals, here we come. By Florenzi and towards Zaniolo. Saved by Galassi. Oh my word, how is that going in? Well, Cengiz-Under's got a hat-trick in the most unlikely manner. I don't think he really cares though. How is that gone in? The corner comes in from Florenzi. It's saved, the header saved from Zaniolo. João Cancelo goes to clear it and he's twatted it right against Cengiz-Under's outstretched leg, has he? Let's have a look. This will be a good angle. There's the header. There's the save. Yeah, he's twatted it off his arse and it's gone into the back of the net and Cengiz-Under's got a hat-trick. City have a corner deep into stoppage time and we're going to get a result that nobody saw coming. Bloody hell, Galassi's up. If we can... Go on. Take it off him and shoot. Go on. No, we're not going to get a... It's Fernandinho in there. Oh, Dzeko is going to shoot from the halfway line, but before he can, the referee blows the whistle. What a result this is. We have absolutely taken Manchester City apart. 4-0, 7-3 on aggregate. What a way to eliminate one of the favourites. And Cengiz-Under gets a hat-trick. Well, I think it's safe to say nobody expected that, but possibly even more shocking than our result is Lokomotiv Moscow have knocked out Real Madrid. 4-3 on aggregate. Lokomotiv Moscow are into a Champions League semi-final. They've taken out Real Madrid. Bloody, what is this season? It's mad. Barcelona have crushed Inter Milan 7-0 on aggregate. Jesus Christ. We've beaten City 7-3 on aggregate, and Bayern Munich have knocked Juventus out by 3-1 on aggregate. So your semi-finalists of this season's Champions League are FC Barcelona, Roma, Bayern Munich and Lokomotiv Moscow. So the draw has been made for the semi-finals. Who have we got? I know who I'd like to get, but I know who we'll most likely get. Who have we got? We'll find out together. Bayern. We've got Bayern Munich. Oh dear Lord. Well, it was going to be them or Barcelona. I figured we weren't going to get the favourable draw. Lokomotiv have already knocked out one of the El Clasico sides in Real Madrid. They're going to have to do it to the other one in Barcelona. And we have the best team in Germany in Bayern Munich. That is going to be extremely difficult. But it was either going to be one or the other. We weren't going to get the favourable draw. So we have Bayern. We've knocked out Manchester City quite convincingly. I somehow don't think it's going to be that simple against Bayern. And just in case anyone's interested, here are the Europa League semi-finals. Napoli will take on Marseille and Borussia Dortmund take on Chelsea. Who else was in there? So Chelsea beat Montpellier, PSV beat by Napoli, Dortmund beat Krasnodar and Marseille beat Lyon. So there you go, there are your Europa League semi-finals. Some tasty ties in there, to be fair. And just before we go into the second and final game of this episode against Bologna in the league, there is the league standings. This is match day 34, so 5 games left to play until the end of the season. We are 3 points behind Juventus. Inter Milan only a point behind us, so Inter Milan are still in with a shout. But we threw away our chance to stay in contention with Juve by not holding on to our lead against them, and then that draw against Torino. But who knows, 5 games left to play. All we can do is try and win every single one of them, and we're going to try and start with this game against Bologna. And here is the side that will take on Bologna. It's our usual lineup. The only difference is Harit has come in for Zaniolo, an attacking midfield role, against a Bologna side of Da Costa, Bani, Tomiyasu, Dietz, Mbaye, Medel, Poli, Sansone, Zampano, Soriano and Santander. This should be a routine victory for us, because I can't remember Bologna ever beating us or ever giving us any real issues. But you know how it's going to be. I thought we were going to beat Torino easily, but we didn't do that. So we can't take these teams for granted. We have to win. We have to win our last 5 games. There is no two ways about it. So let's hope that Juve slip up again. They've already slipped up twice. I don't think they're going to slip up again. But there's only one way to find out. So hopefully, let's just get through this game against Bologna and see what happens. 5 games left to play. No room for error. We have to do our very best to stay in contention with Juventus if we want. The Scudetto is what we want. But let's see if we'll get it. Picks his pocket really nicely. Amin Harit finds El Shaarawy, who finds Gabi Barbosa, and Da Costa denies him. Barbosa, he's really gone off the boil a bit recently. Barbosa picks it up. It's a great ball through the middle. El Shaarawy's in. Real chance for Steven El Shaarawy. It's saved, but he taps in the follow-up, and we have the lead. It's been an extremely scrappy game so far, but we do eventually take the lead through Steven El Shaarawy. Big mix-up in the defence. Huge gap in the Bologna backline. El Shaarawy, terrible first attempt, and he's very lucky it's come back to him. But we take the lead, fortuitously or otherwise. I will take it. In there. Finds Russo. Good hold-up play by Christian Russo. Plays it through to Amin Harit, who's kind of slashed at it. And there's no real accuracy in the shot. All power, no finesse. Russo. Ball through for El Shaarawy. He's going to sweat it for Cengiz Ünder, who's going to smash it over the top of the crossbar. But 30 seconds left of the game. It's been a real slog. It's not been a good watch at all. But as long as we come away with the 3 points, that's all I'm worried about at this stage of the game. As Harit plays it in. Here's Russo. Can we grab something before the end of the game? No, the ref will blow, and he does. 1-0. It's a win. It's scrappy, but it's a win. And it keeps our slim title hopes alive as we dispatch Bologna. Ah, bugger. Juventus have beaten Atalanta by 1-0, which means that the table stays pretty much exactly the same. The only difference is Inter Milan, who must have lost, look at their result, they stay on 74 points, so we stay 3 points behind Juve, who are at the top of the table, with 4 games left to play. It's not looking too good for our domestic hopes, but we are of course into a cup final, and we're into the Champions League semi-finals, so we may win some silverware this year, but it just may not be as much as we were hoping, or the trophy that we were hoping for. So that will do it for this episode. Goals aplenty, well, at least in the first bit of it anyway, as we get through to the Champions League semi-finals, and we do beat Bologna in our attempts to stay within touching distance of Juve in the title race, but time is not on our side in that regard. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, do remember to hit that like button, do hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed it. You don't have to, no pressure here, but it would be really good if you did. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers, that'd be lovely. Yeah, so if you hit the buttons, hit all of the buttons, please. You'll find loads of football-based stuff on the channel, hence why it's a channel about football. It'd be weird if you didn't. So feel free to have a look through the channel, see what you like. And binge and have a good time. It's all fine. That's all remains for me to say is thank you so much again for watching, and we will see you as always in the next one.